75 by 45 centimeters for the 90 days, and 75 centimeters by 40 centimeters by the 80 days.
So you're welcome back to today's farming episode with the CEO of Osborg Agric Enterprise, an agri consultant, a farmer, and a businessman, aka Agric. Today we are going to look at the best method of planting maize. Since we have already talked about the OPV and the hybrid, we want to look at how we can plant our seeds so that it can be able to germinate well. Mr. Bwachi, you're welcome back to today's farming episode again.
Thank you, Na.
So we have learned about the hybrid and the OPV. We have gotten to know the difference between the hybrid and the OPV.
Yeah.
From next month, that is from April, we start planting. We want to know the best method of planting maize so that our maize can be able to germinate well.
For the maize planting, we have a lot of methods.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on the type of farming. When I talk about the type of farming, are you using tractor, or your land is in a forest area that you weed, you bend, and you plant?
Okay.
That's why I said that it depends on the type of, or the way, or where you are farming. If you are using the tractor to plow, the method will be different.
Okay.
And if your farm is a forest zone or areas where there are a lot of trees that you cannot plant, like maybe Asante region, central region, or maybe western region,
Okay.
the method too will be different.
Okay. So please kindly take us through the various methods, especially the tractor method. Then other method you can also explain to us.
Okay, for the tractor method, at times you can use what is called broadcast method. That is the old method that some farmers use because of cost matter. For the broadcast method, they broadcast the maize on the field before they plow the land. When they choose the other methods, which you can use rows and columns, it takes time, and also the cost involved is very high. That is why at times they use broadcast method. Although there are a lot of challenges, because for a broadcast method, you will not get the right spacing, you will not get the correct germination. Some seed, 4 or 5 or 6 seed, can group at one place. And it will be that there is some field too that you cannot even get that maize. But some farmers have adopted a strategy that they use that broadcast method, which for them is good for them that they use, but it's not all that advisable. So that is one. And two, on the same plow land, you can plant with lines or columns without using that lines or rows. You get about 3 or 4 farmers. Then you position them in the right distance, maybe 75 centimeters. One will be here, one will be here. Then they will all go as we can see in this particular video. So in this video, that they are not using row.
So what method is this?
This is a method that is a row and columns, but they are not using lines. You see, in the normal row, you use a rope so that the lines will be straight, the rows and columns will be straight, to be accurate. But this one, they are using rows and columns, but they are not using rope. They've calculated it with their own minds, like maybe from here to here will be a size of matches, which they assume is 75 centimeters. So one will stand here, one will stand here, and they will all go through that line. So when the maize germinate, you see that the maize will be in lines, although you not get it like you use the rope.
So this is another method of
planting. And in the same method too, they can plant without using a straight method. Plant here, they plant here, they plant here, but they will give a reasonable distance. And it also allow for that one to be very difficult to calculate the distance between that rows from one hole to another. But they leave a reasonable distance. And then you come to the rare rows and columns method. For that method, you get your time, you buy a rope about 3 or 5 or 6, depending on the speed that you want to go or the faster that you want to be. So you measure 75 centimeters by 20 or 25 centimeters, depending on the type of maize that you are planting, so that you get the accurate method. Then within the lines too, we have something called intra-row and inter-row. Intra is between this, like I'm talking about 75 centimeters, and the inter is between one hole to another. So for that one, you get the accurate plant distance, like 75 by 25 centimeters. You get the accurate one. That is what the MUFA, or let's say if you want to go agric method, that is what you use. But that one, the challenge is the farmers see it as a time consuming, a bit of work. That is why they use that imaginated plant distance to go that.
I was about to ask you which one is faster.
Yeah.
So looking at it, the broadcast method will be faster.
Yeah, but that's
Spread
its
it.
own challenges. It's not
Okay.
that adversary because of the planting distance is very important in this production.
Okay. So apart from the rows
Yeah.
and the manual one we are seeing here
Yeah.
right now, do we have any other method again?
That is the mechanized one. For the mechanized method, you use what is called a planter. We have a planter that has been configured.
Okay.
If you want 75 centimeters by 25 centimeters, is accurate.
Oh, okay.
It has been configured. So once you put the maize in the planter, it will give you the accurate plant distance.
Okay.
And everything will be accurate. It's very fast. Okay. Very, very, very fast. You can use one day to do a lot of cases that you want. Oh, okay. But the challenge is it's very expensive and it's not common. You know, Ghana, we are 66 years now, but still we are using these old methods because the planter is very expensive that a farmer cannot buy the planter. That is the best thing we have to, that's the mechanized farming. Oh, okay. Like my farm, almost 50 acres, 100 acres. Look at if I want to go this old method, look at the number of days that I'll use. Maybe today I've had a heavy rains and I wanted to finish maybe today or tomorrow. But if it's almost 50 to 100 acres, you cannot use that few days to finish. Okay. The planter will be the best solution. And because it's very expensive, we are not able to afford. That is why we use that method. Okay. But nowadays, we have a roller planter. When I say a roller planter, this planter is a manual planter. Okay. And it has solved some of the challenges. That is determining the planting distance and the labor cost and everything. You see, that is the only challenge in the maize farm. But when you use this roller planter that I'm talking about, it's a manual planter that you pull it. Okay. You can make plant almost 3 acres per day. And for that one, when you configure, it will give you the right distance. You see the way it's going. And this one, when you get the double roller planter, you can plant the maize and also put fertilizer on other side. So once you are planting and also applying the fertilizer, that is 2 in 1. This is the roller planter. Wow. And so how much is it? It's available in the system. Nowadays, I cannot give you the actual price because everything has gone out. But if you want some, we get yes, you get you can get some around 2,500, 3,000 estimated price you can get. You see that you see the maize is here and the fertilizer is here. So once you are pulling the planter, then you are planting the maize and at the same time you are applying fertilizer. That's a rural one. Wow. But the mechanized one, the one I'm talking about that you use a tractor, the main planter. It's about 4 or 5 lanes, and because it's tractor, it's very fast, and you can use it very simple and accurate. Oh, okay. So that means even if you cannot afford the tractor one, you can get the roller planter. You can get the roller planter for now. Okay. What's the name of that machine? Is it tractor? Oh, it's not a tractor. That's why it's just a roller planter. No, not this one. There. The mechanized one. Yes. They call it a planter, maize planter. Maize planter. Yeah, and you can configure it in the way that the roller one you can use it for maize, soya beans, rice, and all the cereals. Oh, okay. So it's very, very good. Okay. So if somebody cannot afford the roller planter and then the mechanized one, if you want to go the manual way, how many people approximately can work on, they can plant on an acre? How many days will it take you to plant on an acre? Even 3 people can plant about 2 acres per day. Oh, okay. And if you get a serious worker, you can even one person can plant 1 acre a day. Oh, okay. But roller one person can plant 3 acres a day. Oh, okay. And for this one, the planting distance, you see, all these methods are very important to discuss because of the planting distance and the plant population density, the amount of trees or the amount of maize that you get in 1 acre. Okay. That is why at times this planting distance is very important. And I know you asked about the planting distance. Yes. Someone asked how many plants you have an acre. Yes, you want to know the plant population density. Yeah. Yes, that's the right way. You see, if it is OPV, that's the open pollinated variety. For that one, at least you can get 53,333 plants. For that one, you see, you can put about 3 or 4 per hole. But when it comes into the hybrid, that you can manage to put about 1 in a hole or 2 in a hole. You can get maybe 22,000 to 23,000 per acre. Yes, per acre. Oh, okay. So now let's come to the OPV. Yes. What is the best distance for the OPV? OPV, we have some OPV that is 90 days, and we have some OPV that is 80 days. Okay. The one which is of 90 days and 80 days. I'm talking about the maturity date. Oh, okay. When it's 90 days, for that one, 75 by 45 centimeters. 75 by 45 centimeters. Okay. Yes. And when it's 80 days, the maturity is 80 days. 75 centimeters by 40 centimeters will be good. Oh, okay. 75 45 by 45 centimeters for the 90 days, and 75 centimeters by 40 centimeters by the 80 days maturity rate.
Oh, okay. Now let's look at the hybrid too.
Yes.
What's the best planting distance for the hybrid?
For the hybrid, as I said in the last video, we have Pioneer, we have Lake, we have Sitco. They are all hybrid. At times they have some unique characteristics.
The
LG 336. Yes, you remember. But for the hybrid, the best planting distance will be 75 by 20 centimeters or 75 by 23 centimeters.
Oh, okay.
And the plant population density will be from 22,000 to 33,000. For Pioneer in particular, the plant population density because it's one hole per seed, is 22,000 per acre.
Okay.
And other hybrids, you can get 25,000 to 33,000 per acre.
Oh, okay.
For the planting population.
Okay. So you've explained the planting method, but yes. I want to ask, why is it important to follow this method?
I said in one of the videos that plants, they are living organisms. They breathe. Okay. They eat. They grow. Okay. Have you seen? And they bear fruit. And any living organism don't like stress. Even in human being, if you are so like stressed, if you are so stressful, you cannot do anything. If you go and watch people in a prison, the way they sleep and the way they behave is quite different. You cry. You see about 5 or 15 or over 200 people in one single room. Okay. Which is supposed to take about 1 or 2 people. So when you compare them to a person living in a well room, you see the life of prisoner will be quite different from the life of a person who is not a prisoner, who has his own freedom. That is why it applies to maize. Okay. When the maize are overcrowded, there is no air. You see, it will be very difficult for you to get a yield. When I show you the video of this maize is a broadcast method maize. Have you seen? It's there. It's very, very close. And this one too is it's not broadcast, but they just use calculated this thing to do the distance. Very good. And you see the rows and columns. You see this one, although it's not a planter, but they use rope with a calibrated measurement of planting. 75 by 25 centimeters. Okay. So when you see the rows, have you seen the rows? So the distance per hole is almost the same. Okay. The rows and columns are accurate. You see there is enough air. Enough air. You see, have you seen? Oh yeah. Yes. Have you seen how the maize is performing? Yeah. This one you can get your normal yield, which is 20 to 25 bags per acre. Oh, okay. Yes. If all things be good, use the right method, the right application, the right planting distance, you get the right yield. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm so impressed. I've learned a lot from this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you also have a question you want us to address concerning maize farming or any other farming, you can let us know in the comment section. I'll be leaving his contact on the screen and the description section so that you can get in touch with him. He will sort you out. The name is Mr. Boachi Yadong. In our next video, we are going to talk about application of fertilizer. So make sure you watch out for that video. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.